uns unto gruges do rutker mi du a yogi o kaktrudi creduger sagir tu grang an tu graner mi uveg du enemus o am heg des un kleuger hanens.
Harrow lashes his sensor forward, a spectral twin sloughing away from its form, lurching forward through space to those Harrow sees fit to damn, its influence increasing in width and height as it travels. All adversaries in its wake are laced in the lacerating chains that bound Harrow in his stance against the cruel, mocking eye of the indifference. Each enemy unfortunate enough to be exposed to the snare will not only bolster Harrow's shields, but will also have their arms pulled open and their heads held high, allowing Harrow to look his enemies in the eye as he embraces them with the mercy of a swift death.
But he was pierced for our rebellion, crushed for our sins. He was beaten so we could be whole. He was whipped so we could be healed. For though he wounds, he also bandages. He strikes, but his hands also heal.
Without a moment's hesitation, Harrow strips the protection of his shields away with 2 shattering strikes to his back from the weight of his sensor, fearlessly embracing any pain or injury that may befall him, demonstrating the unshakable resolve of his faith to friend and foe alike. Despite compromising himself in the face of his adversaries, Harrow does not fall to their assault. Instead, to their horror, he is only invigorated with increased dexterity and rejuvenation through righteous violence, thriving and undying under the blessing bestowed by the unseen, bringing his brethren up with him, a reward and gift for their beloved seer. They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Harrow commands the attention of Oblivion by uttering the soul-shaking incantations reserved only for summoning his gaze, unflinchingly bearing the weight of the void's perception. An oppressive drone spills out from the chains, turning the chamber into a bell, singing in resonance with the iron threads it's bound to. With Harrow acting as the anchor, the weighted pull of the sensor's pendulous motion, the pervasive, skull-numbing drone, and the profuse waves of smoke trailing the sensor's chamber combine into a symphony that is felt in the realm of the unlight, converting the internal chamber into a vessel capable of skimming the gaunt abyss of the void, a well into which its smoldering and vaporescent flesh can flow. As Harrow drives its motion, the writhing vitriol pours into the chasm open to the inner walls of the sensor, wherein it is condensed, refined, and distilled to a pure and volatile wine of potential energy. Once the volume harvested meets Harrow's needs, he takes the sacrament into himself, bestowing Harrow with the blessing of spiritual resurgence and physiological empowerment, both for him and his brethren. For each enemy felled by Harrow, a wealth of energy invigorates him and his team with fuel for their arcane practices. The potency of this benediction is amplified further when Harrow dispatches his enemies with a precision strike to the crown. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light. Wait. For the day of the Lord is near. It will come like destruction from the Almighty. See, the day of the Lord is coming. A cruel day with wrath and fierce anger, to make the land desolate and destroy the sinners within it. The stars of heaven and their constellations will not show their light. The rising sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light. I will punish the world for its evil, the wicked for their sins. I will put an end to the arrogance of the haughty, and I will humble the pride of the ruthless. Should Harrow seek to call upon the Void to grant him the strength to perform his most sacred blessing, he must first prove his devotion. With the very chains that held him captive, he restrains himself for the Void's view, only to demonstrate the sheer strength of his faith by shattering the links, from which springs his blessing of protection, watching over him and his teammates. With this, all are shielded from affliction, and the outer mind bears witness to this demonstration, accounting for the accumulated harm that would have fallen upon Harrow and his brethren. For it is from this accumulation of prevented injury that will determine the efficacy of the next phase of Harrow's blessing. For the Void favors only those with faith strong enough to trust that they will be shielded from the enemy's wrath. Once the walls of protection fall away, Harrow is primed for retaliation. By the Void's breath, the ammunition and arms carried by Harrow and his brethren is instilled with volatility and righteousness, sharpened to pierce the wicked souls buried within those who stand against him. In this, all weapons are elevated in their lethality, imparting devastation with increased precision, the degree of which is felt fourfold when a strike meets the head of an enemy.